Good morning, everybody. Just to let you know, this will be recorded, so if you have any questions, could you please hold them until the end and then you can ask them. So welcome to the Year 2 curriculum morning. On the screen at the moment is the Year 2 timetable. When the children come in, they will complete the register and then they go to their phonics groups. They are streamed into specific groups to support their individual needs, and we'll do that every day. When they come back, they will complete a gap fill activity to make sure that any learning missed at the end of year 1 is caught up on now, followed by their normal lesson, either English or maths. At 10:20, they go to play and they are outside for 15 minutes. When they come back, they will complete the opposite lesson, either English or maths, and another gap fill activity. The children go to lunch at 12:10 and they return at 1:10 when they will complete guided reading in class. After this, there will be a topic lesson, so either geography, history, music, art, or any other amazing topic. Following on from this, there will be arithmetic and vocabulary. This could be practicing counting in tens, it could be practicing times tables, and vocabulary could be spelling or learning the meaning of new words. At the end of the day, the children have a story time in class with their teacher. As you can see on the side there, it does say our PE lessons happen on a Wednesday with Mr. Joseph. The children should have their PE kit in school for this. So our topics, we have some very exciting topics in year 2. In autumn 1, we study wild things, and our topic, or our core text rather, is where the wild things are. The children are incredibly engaged with this already and they love retelling the story, so they're really enjoying that so far. In autumn 2, we look at twisted tales, so those are regular fairy tales but with a slight twist, and their core text is Into the Forest. As we go into spring, our topic is Fantastic Journeys and our core text is the book Journey. In spring 2, our topic is Where Hopes and Dreams Grow and our core text is Varmints and the Tin Forest. At the beginning of the summer term, our topic is Dinosaurs and our core text is The Gigantosaurus, which is a great book. The children really enjoy that. And to end the year, we end with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is really exciting. So on to the nitty-gritty. For maths, the children need to cover a lot this year. So in terms of counting, they need to be able to count in steps of 2, 3, 5 and 10 from any number forwards and backwards. They need to be able to compare and order numbers from 0 to 100. They need to use the greater than, less than and equal to symbols to compare numbers. Use place value and number facts to solve problems. Solve problems using addition and subtraction. Children need to imply an increasing knowledge of mental and written methods. Recall and use addition and subtraction facts to 20 fluently. Solve problems in context. Recall and use multiplication and division facts for the 2, 5 and 10 times tables. Children need to be able to recognise odd and even numbers. Solve problems using arrays and repeated addition. And they need to be able to ask and answer questions about data. With regards to shape, children need to be able to name and identify a range of 2D and 3D shapes. And they also need to be able to compare and sort these. With fractions, the children need to be able to find and recognise a half, a third, a quarter and 3/4. And they need to be able to find fractions of shape, sets of objects, length, quantity and amounts. When it comes to telling the time, The children should be able to read and write the time to 5 minutes, including quarter past, quarter to, half past and o'clock. Children should know the number of minutes in an hour and the number of hours in a day. Children should be able to choose and use appropriate standard units of measurement, using this to estimate, and they should be able to measure length, height, mass, temperature and capacity. Moving on to writing. Children need to be able to use capital letters, full stops, question marks and exclamation marks to demarcate sentences. They should be able to use subordination, which is conjunctions such as when, if, that and because to add detail to their sentences. It's really important that children are able to use present and past tense accurately in their writing, because what sometimes happens is children go between present and past tense as they write, so it needs to be consistent throughout. Children should be using what's called an expanded noun phrase to describe. And what this is essentially using 2 or more adjectives to describe a noun. For example, the fluffy brown boot would be an expanded noun phrase. The children need to write narratives from the perspective of others, use their phonics to support spelling, and write for different purposes. So it's not always about writing stories. They could be writing instructions or an email or a speech, for example. One of the main things that will come up during SATs is handwriting, and there's a big push on that. So children need to ensure that their capital letters and lowercase letters are formed correctly and that they are the correct size. So the capital letters need to be bigger than the lowercase letters. Children should be using different types of sentences in their writing, including sentences such as commands, questions, statements, and exclamations. Now, exclamations can be quite tricky, as some children think it's any sentence with an exclamation mark at the end. The definition of an exclamation sentence is a sentence that starts with what or how and ends in a verb. So, for example, what sharp teeth you have would be an exclamation, rather than just look at those teeth with an exclamation mark. Children should be able to use apostrophes for contractions to show where letters are missing. And they should be using commas to separate items in a list, whether that's colours, items on a shopping list, or any other thing. Children should be using and spelling words with the suffixes ment, ness, less, full and ly. And they should be spelling homophones. Now, these are words that sound the same but are spelt differently. They will be taught this during our vocabulary sessions in the year. Children should also be able to use apostrophe to show possession, so something that belongs to someone, and write narratives about their personal experiences. Okay, on to reading. So children should be able to read most common exception words. These are words that they see very often and very frequently. Children should respond with the correct sound to grapheme, which are letters or groups of sounds, for most of the 40+ phonemes that we teach in phonics. Children should be reading more accurately by blending familiar sounds, and they should be checking that a text makes sense to them. Children in Year 2 should be correcting inaccurate reading if they do make a mistake, and they should be able to predict what might happen based on what has been read so far. Children should be responding quickly with the correct sound when they are reading words, and they should read and understand alternative sounds for graphemes. Children should be blending sounds in unfamiliar words to read words that they've not seen before. Okay, reading at home. I'm sure you all know this, but it is incredibly important to read both with and to your child at home. Okay, it's great if you're doing it, so please keep doing it. But we should also be asking the children questions, getting them to talk about the book or the pictures that they can see, discuss how it relates to experiences that they might have had or other books they've read in the past. And expressing opinions on books is also really important. Children don't have to like every book that they read, and it's great if they can say why they didn't like it. It's also really important to read a range of books with the children, so not just narratives and fiction. It's really important to read non-fiction and even newspapers and magazines and other genres like that. Reading at home develops reading skills, vocabulary, empathy, listening skills, imagination and creativity, among other important skills. And of course, it's a very special time to share with your child. I've already touched briefly on phonics, but this is something that is happening daily in school. And if you want to do some at home with your children, that is absolutely fine. Phonics is the most effective way to teach reading. It consists of green words, which are words that can be sounded out, and red words, which are words that should be read by sight. In phonics, you may hear your children be talking about special friends, which, as you can see, are letters that go together to make a sound. So sh, oi and I, for example. These will be taught to your child during daily phonics sessions and during guided reading. Okay, that was a whistle-stop tour through reading, writing and maths. So now moving on to our topic lessons. So throughout the year, we cover a wide range of topics, including geography, history, IT and science. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the main areas within these topics. In science, we learn about living things and their habitats. We learn about plants, animals including humans, and use of everyday materials. Oh, sorry. In history, we will be covering Black History Month, which is of course October. We will be learning about the lives of significant historical figures, events beyond living memory, so things that happened before the children were alive that they may know about. We will be learning about and writing biographies, and we will be conducting a study on the Industrial Revolution. In geography, the children will be learning to name and locate the world's continents and oceans, use aerial images and other models to create maps, compare our local area to a non-European country, and know the location of hot and cold areas in the world in relation to the equator. In music, the children will be learning some key skills in music, and these include listening to a wide range of different types of music from different sounds, with lots of different instruments, and they will be appraising them. So talking about what they can hear, what they like, what they dislike, which type of music they prefer. The children will also be composing their own music and performing their own music. To do this, they will be using their voices and their body to perform, so things like clapping their hands, stamping their feet as they are singing, and they will be experimenting with a wide range of different instruments in the school. Okay, art and design. Our first topic is Henri Rousseau, and the children will be learning about mixed media and drawing. So far they have already researched Henri Rousseau and his life, and the children have recreated a piece of art in his style. When we move into our Into the Forest topic, they will be creating drawings, using different techniques like using charcoal and other mixed media to create an image. When we come to the Industrial Revolution, the children will be making prints, drawing, and also using clay to form objects. In design and technology, we will be learning some cooking skills, As you know, this week is Ready, Steady, Cook week, but they will be building on that during DT. They will also be making puppets and learning some simple sewing skills, as well as making their own dinosaur cages, thinking about mechanisms and how the cage might open or how it might move. Okay, moving on to computing. We use a program called Purple Mash here at Salisbury Manor, and the children will be learning to code, so make programs on the computer, online safety, spreadsheets, questioning, so in a database, so when they're given a question and they have the choice of 2 answers, yes or no, and depending on which one they choose, it takes them down a different route of questioning. They will be learning how to effectively search on the internet and create pictures. In PSHE, there will be a big push on encouraging mental health and well-being, as there is throughout the school already. But they will be studying being me in my world, celebrating difference, dreams and goals, healthy me, relationships, and changing me. In RE, the children will be learning about teachers and leaders. They will be learning about Christmas celebrations. They will be learning about who Buddha was and why the Torah is special. Children will be learning about Christian rites of passage and about what Sikhs believe. When it comes to PE, as I mentioned previously, they do have a PE teacher who comes to work with them, and they will be learning about running, multi-skills, skipping, ball skills, athletics, dance, boot camp, gymnastics, circuit training, fitness, strength, and throwing and catching. There's lots for them to do there. And that comes to the end of our PowerPoint. I'm going to stop the recording now